Polly Solo-Miller Demarest was the perfect flower of the Solo-Miller family. This family had everything: looks, brains, money, a strong, fortified sense of clan, and branches in Boston, Philadelphia, and New York, as well as London, just like a banking house. The patriarch of the New York gang was Henry Solo-Miller, husband of the former Constantia Hendricks, nicknamed Wendy. Both were of old Jewish families, the sort that are more identifiably old American than Jewish. Solo-Millers and Hendrickses had come from Holland via Spain before the American Revolution, which they had either taken part in or helped to raise money for. Henry and Wendy had 3 children: Paul, Dora, called Polly by everyone, and Henry Jr. Polly was sandwiched between difficult brothers. Paul, a lawyer like his father, had always been mute, preoccupied, and cranky. He was said to be brilliant, but he was so silent that no one had ever really heard him say a brilliant thing. He was 43, unmarried, as greatly respected in the legal community as his distinguished father, and a passionate music lover. Henry Jr., on the other hand, was a lout. He had refused to pursue the normal Solo-Miller and Hendricks occupations, law and banking, and had instead pursued his boyhood adoration of all things aerodynamic and become an aeronautical engineer. He had married Andrea Philo, a fellow engineer, the daughter of Czech refugees. She and Henry Jr. behaved more like brother and sister than like a married couple. They wore each other's clothes, did not plan to have children, played with their dog, and dedicated themselves to kite flying. Henry Jr.'s large, smelly tick hound, Kirby, was their child substitute. And like his master, he had resisted proper training. It was Polly who had made grandparents of her parents. She was married to a big, handsome lawyer named Henry Demarest, and had produced 2 nice, sturdy children: Pete, 9, and Dee Dee, whose real name was Claire, 7.5. These children were doted on by their grandparents, who never displayed to them the eccentricities they had displayed to their own children. Henry Sr. dwelt in what Polly called the realm of the higher mind. This meant that often he was not fully present. He was a rather silent man, who was set in his ways the way Rembrandts are hung on a wall, with great care, correctness, and dignity. But he was funny about food and believed that everything, from vegetables to standing ribs of beef, should be washed with soap and water before cooking, and that all eggs were to be scrubbed before being boiled. For a prank, Polly, as a teenager, had once put a chicken into the washing machine. As a result of these crotchets, Henry Sr. was lied to constantly. He ate happily anything that was put before him as long as someone first assured him that everything had been grown in certifiably organic soil and washed in soap and water. The pollution of the atmosphere was one of his most beloved subjects. Wendy never got anything right. For years, she had called poor Douglas Stern Durwood, and now everyone, including his own family, called him that. She did not actually refer to Pablo Picasso as Carlos. Polly claimed she did, but she came close. It was a family joke that Polly had married a lawyer named Henry in order not to give her mother anything to screw up. In general, the Solo-Millers preferred the company of their fellow Solo-Millers to that of other mortals, and they gathered frequently. Every Sunday they appeared at Henry and Wendy's at noon for a meal that some people would call lunch and others brunch. The Solo-Millers called it breakfast.